A brand new business day is now on the way in Africa's largest economy after a long weekend holiday, capping the end of the Muslim Ramadan celebrations. So let's get the business day started. We've touched oil and commodities and everything else in between. So let's talk about jobs and unemployment. And joining us live is Adesoji Ayola, who is the head of finance at CNI Leasing, a services company listed on the Nigeria Stock Exchange. Good morning to you. Thanks for coming. We appreciate your time. This looks like a very busy day, the first day of the week. So for you to find the time to be here to discuss, spend a few minutes with us, we appreciate that. Now, give us what you consider as the key issues for Nigeria, 170 million people, 160, 170 million estimate, in terms of jobs and unemployment. In your mind, how do you juggle this together before we talk about what solutions do you think we should adopt?
Yeah, thank you very much. Unemployment has been the bane of development in Nigeria for a long time. If we go back to history, you will see that various governments have been really trying to manage the economy as a whole. It is an economic malacy that has been with us for quite a long time, and unless actually that we do something quickly, I think for the foreseeable future it will still be with us.
We've done a few things. I'm sure you've been around long enough to know about the National Directorate of Employment, isn't it?
Yes, OFN, Operation Field the Nation.
So we've done DIFRI.
Yeah, we've done DIFRI.
We've done MAMSA.
MAMSA. We've done NDE.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done a lot of programs.
We've done ITF as well, the Industrial Training Fund, and all of that. So when we have a Ministry of Labor and Productivity, now, what haven't we done? Oh, first of all, let me retrace that. What's wrong with everything we've done so far? Is it from a policy point of view, from an action point of view, or from a funding point of view?
It is a combination of all, from the policy point of view, from the implementation, and from the finance angle. And again, from the sincerity of the government too. It appears as if actually some of those policies are just lip services. I think they are just there to really whet the appetite of the populace. But the point is that we need actually to match our words with our action. I think we need to back it up with soft loan. It's not actually about training alone. Training will not actually get us there, but we need actually to back this thing up with soft loan for those graduates, for those unemployed youths who are there and looking forward for a remedy.
In your opinion, how do you think this should be tackled in terms of job creation in a tight fiscal environment where we are? Do you think that we should be creating jobs for the big multinationals, big companies, not necessarily overseas ones, perhaps the Dangotes, the flour mills, and the rest of them, or we should go medium to SMEs, perhaps light industries where we can produce something as little as this, or perhaps toothbrushes or things like that?
I think we need to look at it twofold, on a short-term basis and a long-term basis. Short-term basis, yes, we need to empower our people. We need to look at the SMEs. That's the engine room of any economy. We need to empower them. We need to come to their aid. We need to organize really more training and support them. And apart really from that, in the long run, we need to look at our industrial sector. We need to restructure our economic base. We need to do a lot. We need to diversify from being a monolithic economy to an economy that actually is diverse. We are talking now about the situation in Nigeria. The funds, the price of crude oil has crashed. The funds, the treasury is empty. So we need to look inward to get money.
Isn't the Nigerian economy already diversified? And let me say this. Now, this is an economy where you have big companies. Then you have the multinationals, right? You have the oil and gas. Then people do farming, which is agriculture. Then some people just go do trading, isn't it? Then you have the artisans, isn't it? Those who are doing mechanics by the roadside, or those who are doing vulcanizing, or those who are doing welding business, or plumbers, isn't it?
Yeah.
And those who are doing bricklaying, civil engineers. So the economy is already diversified. But you talk about funding. Now, who should do this funding? The government?
Yes, the government should do it. They should not only funding, the infrastructural facilities. They should do a lot about electricity. You talk about the plumbers. Most of them are there. 24 hours, there's no light. They could not generate money. They could not create wealth. So we need government to come into the picture. The government is a big spender. So they need to come into the picture forcefully to change the...
Now the government does not look like it has more money, because it looks like money is beginning to dry up here, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you are in charge of finance,
Yes.
so you know when there is no money.
Yes.
That's what you deal with every day.
Yes.
You look at the books and you say, look, it doesn't look like we have cash here.
Yes.
Now, so how do we revitalize jobs, reduce unemployment in a situation where you, the head of finance, who is now telling us the account is not as buoyant as it used to be?
Yes, we need to start really jogging the numbers now. We need to do a lot of, there'll be a lot of sacrifices.
Creative thinking.
Creative thinking. People have to sit down and think inwardly. They need to do new things, and we need to be sincere. There should be the level of sincerity, integrity must come in, and transparency. A lot of all the gaps in the system must be curtailed, must be plugged. So with that, I think that is the only way we can actually really come out of this mess.
The government will do infrastructure. The government will put money in the business. What do you think? On my own, as an individual, as a Nigerian, what can I do to change the game for myself? Because the dynamics of life is not just that you just don't clap with just one hand. You need both hands to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, as an individual, the issue is that we are positive. Nigerians are very positive, and we are looking, we are looking for a change. We need a change in our lives, and we are very positive toward that direction. You can see the level of support. This is about 55 days after the handover. I mean, we don't have any blueprint, but Nigerians are positive. They are waiting patiently, and they are very positive. They are very supportive. They want a change. They want a meaningful life. They want to live a meaningful life. So everybody is looking forward to something really positive.
We'll still talk about the tight environment where we find ourselves. What do you think people can do? In practical terms, should people start saving more? Do they need a better education? Do we need to go the way of technical education? Can we start approaching banks or microfinance banks? Do we start to do crowdfunding? Do you think we should do community funding?
We should not be talking about books, education alone. We need to be very creative now. We need to do things with our hands. We need to move things around. We need to look at the way we can even support the government, because it appears as if the government, the government is weak now. We have to comment. We have to
from
comment.
A financial point of view.
From a financial point of view, they are weak. But actually, they normally provide the platform. The platform must be there. If the environment is not conducive, it will be very difficult. The environment must be set right. Certain things, the roads are there, the hospitals must be there, those social and economic amenities must be provided. The people are willing. They are willing. You know the Nigerian factor. They are willing.
And when was that? The Nigerian factor?
Yeah.
Yeah, the willingness to succeed.
The willingness to succeed.
So let's go back a little bit let's step back in time to some of those agencies that's been created, the ITF, the NDE, and the rest of them. Do you think we should scrap some of them? Do you think they should be repositioned? Do you think it's more money that they need? Because whether you like it or not, the government will still have to use some transmission mechanism or agencies to move from point A to point B.
Yes, I think the government have actually come up. In 2012, they introduced Shopee. There is this OES program being run by Osun State government. So there are some of these programs that the government are coming up, coming up to impact on the life of the populace. If we take a look at, let's look at the petroleum sector. The downstream sectors, they need to liberalize that area so that other artisans can come in. People can come in and do certain things that are needed by that sector.
So are you voting for a subsidy removal? 100%? Or what percent are you looking at?
That's
a tough one.
That is a tough, very
okay,
tough
you don't
one.
want to say that here.
I don't want to.
But if it's by secret ballot, if I just put a piece of paper and give it to you, you can say whether yes or no. It's not a referendum.
Well, I have to really, because it has a very, if you remove the first subsidy, you know what it means, multiply effect. Everything goes spiral, price increase. But again, Nigerians are ready now. We've been hearing about the fuel subsidy.
Do you think...
We want it to go once and for all. Let's look at it. Let's look at the numbers on the table. That's what we are saying. Let us Nigerians know the actual cost.
If subsidy is fully removed on petrol and kerosene and other byproducts, do you think that will help jobs and unemployment?
Yes, I think actually if you remove subsidy, all those programs that are being done is removed from partial removal of the source subsidy. That's the money they use to reinvest in other sectors. But now Nigerians are saying, perhaps let's actually look at it on the table. If we are going to remove the subsidy, let's look at it so that we know that there is no subsidy anywhere again.
If there's no
and
subsidy,
we face our life.
If there is no subsidy on petrol, there will be no subsidy on electricity as well. And the artisans, the mechanics and the rest of them, the vulcanizers and the welders need power, including the hairdressers.
Do you know how much actually we use to run our generators? We pay 3 times, and the hazardous aspect, that one cannot be quantified. So let us look at, this is what we are saying, let the government actually, let us be sincere with ourselves. Let us throw everything on the table so that people will know what course of action to take.
Now let's talk about finance. Let's get to the inflation and interest rate. And I'm sure as a finance person, you have this at the top of your head all the time about the right interest rate environment that will be able to stimulate bank lending into the real economy. What's your take on that? What do you think the level of interest rate should be? We're around 13% now. There's a meeting on Friday. What are you looking at?
You know, that's a very gray area. You know, we need an interest rate to move the SMEs single digit. But can we achieve that under this atmosphere? It is absolutely no. You cannot go to the banks and access funds, access loan from the bank. The
single-digit interest rate could be 9%, and it could be 1%.
It could be 1%.
And there's a big difference between 9 and 1 when it comes to interest rate.
It's quite different from 22 or 25.
Yes, it is. Yes,
it's a big gap.
Yes, it is. So single digit. What are you looking at? What do you think? We need single-digit interest rate to move. Do you think if we have a single-digit interest rate, then people can walk through? Can go to their banks and get credit?
For single digits now, it might be very difficult really to achieve now. But if you look at 15, 17, I think it's still okay. I think Nigerians can still weather the storm. But now, presently, it's about 25, 27%. It's so
in the commercial banks? In
the commercial banks. To retailers.
That looks very, very disturbing. Okay, now talk to us about your company, CNI Leasing.
CNI Leasing is the foremost finance lease in the country. It's quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. It's highly regulated. We report to Securities and Exchange Commission, Nigerian Stock Exchange, and CBN, who happens to be our primary regulator. We are highly diversified really company. We have a subsidiary company in Ghana, Lease Afrique, who is into leasing. We have a branch in Dubai, Epic, and we have CNI Motors too. We are the only sole franchisee of Suzuki product in Nigeria, and we are very prominent in the marine oil and gas sector now.
This is a company that's transformed significantly over the years, so according to my knowledge, when it first listed on the stock exchange, SNI, we talk about asset leasing in those days, whether you're leasing heavy-duty machinery for those who are in construction, for example, earth-moving equipment and things like that. What's your 2015 business outlook looking like in the face of petrol scarcity, subsidies, electricity problems, and interest rate? And Naira
we release our second quarter results on Thursday, and it was something.
How come I didn't get that? I haven't seen that.
It was looking very, very okay. I think despite the problem, it was quite better than the first quarter.
Okay. We'll look for that. Yeah. And thank you very much for coming.
Okay, thank you very much. Ayola.
Adesoji.
Yeah, thank you.
The head of finance at CNI Leasing Services, company listed on the Nigerian market.